Hey guys, Curtis Alexander. In this video, I want to talk about something near and dear to my heart, which is thyroid function. But I want to talk about, is the keto diet thyroid friendly? And this is a question I get a lot. People are very critical of my answer, so I just want you to keep an open mind. I'm going to keep this video short. The first part of the video, I'm going to talk about what your body needs for optimal thyroid function, one of the things. And in the second part, I'm going to share some studies with you to kind of drive home the point of what I'm trying to make is that the keto diet is not thyroid friendly, especially when done long term. Okay. So we know that the thyroid gland regulates a lot of things in your body, your body weight, your menstrual cycle, cholesterol, your body temperature, your pulse rate, lots of things are involved. Now, a hallmark of people who have low thyroid function, myself included years ago, was that you lack the ability to produce enough T3, which is really the most active form of your thyroid hormones. A number of factors go into that, but one of the most crucial is your body needs glucose to make that happen. And it can get it different ways, but the optimal way, the easiest way for your body to get glucose is from consuming carbohydrates. Now, when I say carbohydrates, I'm not talking processed food. I'm not talking bread. I'm talking honey, maple syrup, juices, real juices, ripe fruits. If you can tolerate them, milk, potatoes, those sorts of things, natural carbohydrate sources. Okay. On the flip side, while thyroid gets a lot of the hype, your metabolism is also involved in other organs, including your hypothalamus and your pituitary gland. Ironically, they also require glucose to function properly. Even TSH, which if you have hypothyroidism, your doctor's probably drawn your labs, measured your TSH and said, hey, you have low thyroid, which by the way, isn't enough to diagnose low thyroid, but another video, another time. But TSH is even made up of glucose. So you're starting to see a trend here. We need glucose for proper metabolism. Okay. Now, when you radically decrease your carb intake because you believe that carbs make you fat or cause diabetes, all this stuff, which is not the case, conversion of T4 to T3 decreases. As we already talked about, that conversion requires that you have glucose. So what the body will do when you go on keto, carnivore, pick your poison, at some point, it doesn't happen right away, but at some point your body is going to go, okay, I need glucose to, particularly for the brain and your nervous system, first of all, but for some of these other functions, it's like, I'm going to go to my backup system to make that glucose. Okay. So your body can make glucose. However, that is now a stress-based response. You're going to see cortisol go up, adrenaline go up, and your body's going to do that to make glucose so it can take care of your metabolism, your brain function, all these things. So these stress hormones over time are not a good thing. Okay. The keto diet was originally designed to treat seizures in kids and to actually mimic fasting. Okay. Now, we already know that when you fast or you have extreme caloric restriction, thyroid function goes down. So right now we've established that glucose is critically important to your thyroid function. And the best way for your body to get it is in natural carbohydrates. Okay. Keto is a backup stress-based system. So here's what we know from the studies, what happens. So in one study, they took healthy males and gave them different varying amounts of carbohydrates. Some received 2% of their diet in carbs, the other 44%, the other 85%. And here's what they found. The higher carb diets at 44 and 85% showed no change in the thyroid markers, but the very low carb group caused a decrease in T3 while increasing reverse T3, not good, and free T4 levels, which is not ideal. So obviously not good for the thyroid. Okay. We also know that if after a period of starvation, if you, and we already said the starvation is going to affect negatively your thyroid function, but if you refeed those people with carbohydrates, their thyroid hormones can return to normal. Now, another study, this was interesting. They took participants and had them do one of two things, either fast or go on a low calorie, 800 calories per day and very few calories for 2 weeks. Okay. Neither of those are good for the thyroid. But the low calorie group got either 0% carbs, 25% carbs, or 100% of that low-calorie diet is carbs. The T3 levels decreased in the fasting group, makes sense. They also decreased in the low-calorie group who got no carbs in their diet. But in the other groups, even though they were eating very few calories, which is not good for the thyroid long term, if they were consuming those calories as straight up carb sources, their T3 levels did not decrease. Okay. So hopefully at this point, you guys, it's pretty evident for a healthy metabolism, your body requires glucose. That's biochemically, any biochemistry book will walk you through the fact glucose is required. You can either get it from carb sources or your body can make it through a stress response if you're doing something like keto. We've established here through the studies that the stress response is not a good way to go. Bottom line, keto is not thyroid friendly. In fact, my opinion and my experience doing it for over a decade, it's the opposite is true. It's harmful to your thyroid. So let me know in the comments other topics you'd like me to cover. This video was a prime example and I will get those out. I realize this is a very emotional issue for people, this whole diet thing. Please just look at the evidence and make your own decisions based off that and go from there. So hope this was helpful. I will see you in the next one.